bread time, it's bread time, it's bread time, it's bread time.
Hey everyone, it's your boy, and today we're going to be discussing a hot, trending topic from political YouTube. Should we non-leftists debate Marxists? To debate, to not debate? That is the question. But which Marxists are we referring to? Who are we debating from within this political movement? Well, the answer lies in a recent Twitter argument involving Hammer666 and Shoe on Head in regards to a recent video Styx had made. In this video, Styx basically says that there is no point in debating Breadtubers because most of them are not actually in it for the discussion of ideas. It's simply a way of baiting bigger YouTubers or just more famous people into arguments for YouTube revenue. His examples are people like Vosh, who will start arguments with YouTubers like, for example, Styx himself or Sargon, by accusing them of things like being white supremacists, ethno-nationalists, and then challenge them to a debate. The debate, however, will not really be on actual issues, but rather on whether or not the person baited, i.e. Sargon, is the thing in question. A racist, Nazi, whatever you want to call them. Shoe on Head, however, seemed far more interested in standing for Vosh and accusing Styx of hypocrisy and cowardice, cherry-picking tweets from Styx's past, where he says that leftists are too afraid to debate him. Of course, all of this seems pretty damning, but as I said, Shoe is cherry-picking. She's not actually being intellectually honest here, and is more interested in framing Styx as a coward and hypocrite using gotchas. For you see, there is a difference between a debate and what Breadtubers consider debate. So we've already figured out at least one type of Marxist that we should or should not be debating: Breadtubers. As mentioned before, Styx does not want to debate the new generation of leftist YouTubers, Breadtube, because he perceives their debates as not debates, but as performance art, money-making schemes. Whereas the Breadtubers argue they are simply trying to debate their side of the culture war. It's honest, and apparently debating whether or not someone is a Nazi is of paramount importance. But the point really isn't to prove whether or not non-leftists are what Vosh says they are. He and his fans already believe that we non-leftists are nothing but fascists and racists. And Styx is right. There is no point trying to prove to people who aren't intellectually honest enough to admit they are wrong about you, so why bother in the first place? Again, this is not an actual debate topic. No serious political debate that attempts to answer questions of philosophical and political natures have been accusations against another person. They are usually about more loftier things like, for example, human rights, freedom, free will, morality, etc. Not, for example, Aristotle accusing Plato of being whatever the ancient Greek equivalent of a fascist would be, and then getting him to debate whether or not he is that equivalent in front of Aristotle's own students and followers. How is that meant to expand human knowledge and allow us to make progress intellectually? It doesn't. It is exactly as what Styx Hammer says it is. It's left-wing blood sports, plain and simple. It may not be a group of people artistically screeching at each other for minutes on end. Instead, it's Vosh artistically screeching at the person he has baited into debating him, and he may have a moderator on it, but it's still the same essential format. Create drama, frame it as a debate, and then make money off of the resulting mess of a show. Vosh has even admitted that he is largely ignorant about Styx Hammer's political positions, and since the debate would be about Styx himself, what is even the point? The debate is essentially an ad hominem that Styx has to somehow disprove in front of hundreds, if not thousands, of rabid communists. I agree with Styx that people like Vosh are not worth the trouble debating because it's not about the ideas, it's not about the issues, it's all about the money and smearing the other person. In many ways, using debate to reinforce the echo chamber, as weird as that sounds, because Vosh will do everything to frame Styx or Sargon's arguments to his audience as if they are fascist or racist, or if he doesn't, they automatically assume it comes from such a place, thus reinforcing their own views, if that makes any sense. I also don't see Shoe offering to debate people on a live show on her own channel, or even on other people's channels. She seems far more interested in letting Vosh do it for her. Styx has of course debated people in the past, most famously Richard Spencer, and he has indeed had previous discussions with leftists. Destiny, for example. In fact, he is going to be debating James Alsop this month. So he's not exactly shying away from his intellectual opponents, even if they're not necessarily leftists. He is simply choosing his battles. Meanwhile, we don't see the loudest leftist screeching coward actually debating anybody. Shoe, if you're so much braver and not a hypocrite, announce on your channels and Twitter that you are open to a debate. First come, first served. And the same goes to Jake from the Bible Reloaded. You're saying that Styx isn't brave enough. Well, Sargon has challenged you, and as of writing this script and recording it, you haven't accepted. you simply mocked him for it. Practice what you preach. Don't hide behind the keyboard. However, I do disagree with Styx, if you can call it a disagreement really, on one crucial point. We should debate Marxists, but not the likes of Vosh, and certainly not apologists like Shu and Jake. Those people are not worth the time to even put on our clothes before we debate. We should be aiming to debate with those Marxists and other leftists that do have a track record of actually caring about ideas and debating people in a civilised and proper fashion. There aren't many, but there are high profile examples, even if they are a few. I would actually argue that debating the thought leaders, as hard as it might be for us, is worth it. So, for example, more debates like Jordan Peterson versus Slavoj Žižek, and less Vosh versus Sargon of Akkad. People like Slavoj are open to debate, will debate properly, and things can actually get done. I even think ContraPoints is probably worth another shot, mainly because Contra is a thought leader. As much as her videos are largely surface level with no substance, a lot of the Breadtubers on YouTube basically ate per talking points. I'd also try to get Kyle Kulinski to debate somebody like Styx, because he has done them before against Razorfist, and he is another thought leader. Yes, Kyle Kulinski is indeed a thought leader at this point. If you want any confirmation of that, just look at Shoeonhead's second channel and compare what she says about Bernie to him. So what I am basically trying to say is that we should ignore the obvious grifters and go for the true believers and the real intellectuals in debate. It's not easy, they won't always agree to a debate, and the debates may even have attempts to shut them down, but nonetheless I think it really is something worth pursuing. Also, before I go, one last thing about Vosh. When he attempted to debate Dankula on Twitter recently, he said he was willing to debate him and even get a neutral third party as moderator. Whether or not this third party would host it is something I do not recall him saying, but it doesn't matter. His first choice was none other than Faraday Speaks. That guy who went to the press slandering people like Dankula, Sargon, Styx, etc. about how they radicalised him to the far right, and then he saw the light when he watched the ContraPoints video. Vosh wants that guy to moderate a debate between him and Dankula. That is not a neutral third party, and again, it only reinforces the argument to not engage with people like him. As for Shu and her ilk, no point in engaging with them. She's proven to be a charlatan throughout the past few years. She's pretty much confirmed to be an ideologue and an apologist for communists at this point. Again, she wasn't trying to attack the man who believes in an ideology that she knows caused the deaths of millions of people in the 20th century, and oppressing people to this day in places like Venezuela, Cuba, etc. She's attacking the free market libertarian who just wants the government to leave us alone in peace. Let that sink in. And I say we shouldn't engage them, not just because they are dishonest, but people like Shu most likely will not practice what she is currently preaching against Styx, and will continue to sling crap at us from behind Twitter, which she can block and mute at leisure. It's funny because one of her best memes was her parodying communists to such a convincing level that YouTubers and boomers alike fell for it. Now, she's almost exactly like that satirical character. Ain't life just crazy, guys? Anyway, debate the Zizeks of the world, not the Voshes. Until next time, like and share the video, subscribe to my channel, maybe donate to my Patreon and Subscribe Star, and until next time, I'll see you all later.